get to the optional, Mary Lou.
Absolutely. All are very capable of scoring 10s, and I think it's going to be an exciting competition, especially after the team competition is over and we have the all-around and the girls are fighting it out.
Well, Silibosh maintains her lead. I frankly am a little surprised. I thought Shushanova, having the advantage of going second behind Silibosh, might overtake her.
Well, I really felt that the Soviet team being so strong would help Shushanova in terms of building her scores. Silibosh's scores have held up very well considering she doesn't have quite as strong of a team. I think we'll see more of that in the optional exercises because the Soviets are going to just knock your socks off in the optionals. The Romanians, I think, are going to have a little trouble, and much of that is, of course, because of their star, Aurelia Dobre, who, you know, she really has had a hard time and she hasn't been fully prepared. And the sad thing about that is that she's not fully back in terms of her strength and her physical strength to do well in the optional exercises.
Let's introduce the United States team. Bart Connor. Bella Caroli has these three girls. They're all 15. Phoebe Mills, #1, Nationals. Brandy Johnson, watch out for her. She's got the potential to get a medal. Shelley Stack, you've already met. And then there are three others who have their own coaches here.
And it's really taken a couple of years for this team to gel. Hope Spivey, Brandy Johnson, and Shelley Stack have looked so good. But Kelly Garrison-Steves finally is getting back from that injury, a stress fracture to the ankle. And Missy Marlowe has had a real rough time getting prepared for this competition. She had the best meet of her life in the trials. I hope she can hold it together because those 6 girls have to do well in this final session.
From Garrison-Steves, 21, and Mary down to 3 15-year-olds. That's the U.S. contingent, and many feel they still have a chance to get a bronze medal.
Compulsory, so let's go live to the Gymnastics Hall and Dick Enberg.
All right, Gail Gardner, we've just started the final session for the women in their compulsory round, and this is Melissa Marlowe up first on the floor for the United States.
Missy had a good start. She did all the elements well, and that is a beautiful turn. Back walk over to the split and a full pirouette.
It's so important that she does well. She's the table setter for the rest of the team. '17 from Salt Lake City. Coach is Mark Lee.
She is such a splendid dancer. She really does sell this routine. Her tumbling is not as strong as some of the others we've seen, but her dance is one of the best in the world.
Now the key will she benefit? As you see her mother applauding, Mother Janine and Father Tim. Will the U.S. benefit from going last in these rotations and in these sessions, just as it was for the men?
This is the back walk over. Look at that beautiful split, full pirouette. That skill is absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, I think the judges are going to find some faults with the height of the tumbling. She didn't really have the amplitude that we saw some of the other gymnasts perform. Her dance work is terrific. The round-off back handspring layout is very nice and clean, but certainly she didn't drop out of the sky as the judges will be expecting to see.
Missy Marlowe. Bella Caroli, 9.625, a high of 9.7, a low of 9.5 from Bulgaria. For the moment, we go from Seoul, Korea to John Palmer in New York. Welcome back to Gymnastics Hall. Dick Enberg with Bart Connor, Mary Lou Retton. We're in the first rotation, final session, women's compulsory. You're watching live. This is Hope Spivey. She's fourth up for the U.S. team.
And I have to tell you, Dick, the Americans look terrific. They really got off to an excellent start. And the girls do look very well prepared. And, of course, floor exercise has always been a fine event for the U.S. team.
Spivey, she's 17 years of age, 5 pounds, 5 feet tall, 85 pounds. From Suffolk, Virginia, her coach is Cole Strauss.
Let's take a look at the tumbling run here. She does front step out, handspring, and an arch dive roll. Nice and high, and she must roll up smoothly as she did.
Let's just give you the other scores of the U.S. women. Marlowe a 9.625. Then Shelley Stack followed with a 9.7. And Kelly Garrison Steves a 9.8. And Hope Spivey earns a 9.8. So good scores for the U.S. women. We emphasize again a very young team. Let's just go down the line. Belgium 9.8. U.S. 9.8. Greek judge 9.8, Bulgaria 9.8, Swiss 9.8, French 9.8. No variance there.
And of course the DED stands for deductions. That's in case the girls are under or over time or out of bounds. The head judge will take off points there.
This is Brandy Johnson, 15.
Whoa. That's how you do the pike open.
Bella has compared Brandy Johnson's power, especially in the tumbling, athletic part of gymnastics, to Mary Lou Retton.
She really is very explosive, and her option is just dynamite. But look at that run there. Front step out, handspring dive roll. Very well done. Brandy has had to work a lot on her flexibility. And you can see on the back walk over, handstand, full pirouette. Good flexibility. There's a series of leaps. She's right on the music with piano player Carol Stavashevsky. Here's the layout run. Round up back handspring, layout, step out, very high.
Oh, does she have to feel good? That's Brandy Johnson. This is her first major international competition, and she performs here in Seoul, Korea in the Olympic Games. Do you think there aren't some knots and lumps in her throat and stomach? Brandy Johnson comes through with a fine effort.
Let's take a look here at the front step out. Look at the height on that front. She drops out of that handspring and a nice tight body arch dive roll. Certainly one of the characteristics of all Bella Gurley gymnasts is their consistency, and he really has his group of young girls very well fine-tuned for this Olympic competition.
There are the scores, 9.875 with lots of 9.9s. The Bulgarian judge has been tough throughout. Another 9.8, but Brandy Johnson, that's a great way to break in, Mary Lou Retton.
Absolutely. It's very good that the girls are starting out on floor, because if you're a little nervous at the beginning of the competition, and this is a good place to start.
Evie Mills, national number 1, United States, 15.
Very nice pike. Evie Mills is sort of the Daniela Silivash of the American team because she's so technically precise.
Mother Susan, Northfield, Illinois.
She looks very comfortable out there, doesn't she?
I'm sure her parents are more nervous than she is.
Right on. This last tumbling run is the final impressions the judges see. They need to see a high layout step out. Very nice.
Evie Mills, in contrast to the performance of the U.S. women in Rotterdam in the World Championships, where they struggled and fell and there were major faults throughout, they've gone through this first rotation on the floor quite impeccably. They've done very well. I'm sure Crowley and the other coaches are quite pleased.
Let's look here at the round off, back handspring, height, open, mount. Great start.
And the judges liked it. Here's the scoring for Phoebe Mills. U.S. judge at 10, all the rest at 9.90 throughout the high and low. Average the 4, 9.9 to cap off a fine opening rotation for the United States. The United States, an outside chance at a bronze in the team competition, and the free exercise is a good opening for them.
Welcome back to our coverage of the games of the 24th Olympiad from Seoul, Korea.
And we're back at Gymnastics Hall waiting for the completion of the first rotation. The United States is through with their floor exercise and will next move to the vault, and we'll see how they did in comparison to the other teams. Of course, the Soviet Union and Romania are favored for the gold. There's Philip Karolyi. He was an Olympian himself in 1956 for Romania, was a hammer thrower.
Guys, squeeze your legs.
Didn't make it to the finals.
Okay?
Keep those legs together.
Legs. On the landing, just hold it. Nice. Okay,
Okay, we'll show you the standings for the team when we return, but first let's go to Gail Gardner.
Gymnastics after this.
Welcome back, and look at that. That's a surprise. United States quite brilliant in their first rotation. The floor exercise second to the Soviet Union. Of course, these will change as they go through the rotations, but you couldn't ask for a better beginning than that, Bart Connor.
Yeah, the U.S. team really looked hot. In fact, even the Soviet team, which is expected to dominate here, they bobbled around on a lot of the tricky elements of the floor routine, and that the U.S. team was so solid. What a confidence builder to start that well.
And Bela Karolyi, he is really quite a story. He's the coach in '76 in Romania of Nadia Comaneci. He comes to the United States, defects to this country. He develops another all-around gold medal winner, first ever for the United States. In the women's competition, Mary Lou Retton, our colleague, and you know, a lot of people don't like Bela because he's a strong personality. He takes charge. He coaches the way they coach in the Eastern Bloc countries, and a lot of U.S. coaches aren't accustomed to that. He wants to run the show. He wants to win the game, and he steps on toes in the process. But boy, he has, well, no one's going to argue the fact that he is a winner.
I tell you, if I were competing right now, I were a member of the U.S. women's team, I'd sure like to have Bela Karolyi on my side because he somehow knows how to get every last tenth of a point out of those girls' performances. And that's what it's going to take to win at the Olympic Games, is every last bit.
Here's Missy Marlowe. She will be up first, born in Belgium. Her father was stationed there in the service. She works with the same sports psychologist as U.S. archer Denise Parker. She's the young 14-year-old who has a chance to medal here in Seoul. Missy Marlowe.
Now the vault we're going to be seeing is a tucked Sukahara. That's probably the best tucked Sukahara that Missy Marlowe ever did.
Missy Marlowe barely made this team. She was 10th in the, or 11th in the all-around in the Nationals, and then rallied at Salt Lake City at the trials to make the team.
She had a form break early, but what she did show is the strong kick out from the tuck before she landed, and you can see on her face she's very pleased. You can see here there is a form deduction. The judges will take off for that, but she tucks in and then extends way out to a straight body position before she pulls around the landing.
What an angle from overhead to appreciate the difficulty, and good distance from the vault for Marlowe. And now she looks for the score. 17 years of age, has no trouble getting dates, as you might understand. 9.60 for Marlowe. Next up on the vault will be Kelly Garrison-Steeves. United States after one rotation in second behind the Soviet Union. We'll be right back. Marlowe with a 9.6, Garrison-Steeves a 9.7. Now here's Phoebe Mills.
Very good. All right.
Bela Karolyi, putting them through, coaching them through, as you hear his comments.
I think we should hire Bella Caroli to be one of our analysts. He is certainly right on as Phoebe Mills does the half on, little form break, tucks in, and extends out. Actually, that's probably one of the better ones Phoebe has done. She has had a problem before of extending out of the tuck and not completely straightening her body, kind of holding a pipe. That's the same fault that we saw Aurelia Dobre perform earlier, and Aurelia Dobre scored only 9.6, 9.625.
Good block. Good hip option. I want to hit it.
Talking out of Shelley Stack.
Hold that one, Tom. Hold that down.
Shelley Stack, well, we talked about squeezing every ounce out of his gymnast, Mary Loretton. You can speak from first-hand experience.
Bella certainly does. He works with each individual differently. And I tell you, as Bella comes to competitions, not just to compete, he comes to win. He's a competitor in everything he does.
Did he ever really make you so angry you'd want to tell him off and say, I'm getting out of here? Did he ever get you that upset?
To myself, to make me mad, he would always just ignore me, and that made me even madder. So I would just want to do it just to show him that I could.
Little hop at the end cost Mills a tenth of a point, and 9.65 for Phoebe Mills. Here's little Shelley Stack. She's the smallest member of the entire U.S. Olympic contingent of over 600 athletes.
You can see she added some sparkles to her makeup today, and certainly I think Bella Caroli has added some sparkles to her performance because she has looked very good. Nice job.
74 pounds of energy, Shelley Stack. She likes to collect dowels. She's down there at Itaewon whenever she gets a chance, looking for those to add to her collection. I'm sure O'Dory being one. Let's see it again, Bart.
Now she is a really tiny girl, and yet she gets pretty good distance from the horse. Good block, in tight, extends out, and she lands straight up and down. That's very impressive to the judges. Once again, this is kind of a scary way to look at this vault because it does look like you're about to crash. Of course, she was perfectly in control. Oh, she landed with her feet pretty far apart. That will be a deduction as well. You need to land not with your feet actually touching, but just very slightly apart so that you can maintain balance and yet not get a form deduction when the judges are looking for those minor things, because all of these gymnasts are performing these skills at an incredibly high level. It's the little things that are going to make the difference.
Shelley Stack, 9.625. 6.75, excuse me. 6.75, consistently 9.6s and 9.7s for Stack. Will be a 10th grader when she goes back to Houston to continue her training under Bella Caroli. Fifth up, Hope Spivey.
Very nice vault for Hope. She had a little more distance than Shelley did, but of course she did not stick that landing.
Good. A good ball.
Trains with the Parkettes in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Once again, in super slow-mo, you can really see what's happening here. Half on, and then she blocks off that horse, which is spring-loaded these days. She tucks in, kicks out. Oh, that's a nice position as she opens out to a little bit of a slight arch in the layout.
Super back shoulders. Good run. Powerful. Good
Now, Bella, you hear him talking to Brandy Johnson, as you see again, Hope Spivey.
Good thing, Sullivan.
Hope grew up when she was really young wanting to be a baseball player because of her older brother's Little League experience, and she says, I love to watch the Mets. She says, I like that Carter and Strawberry. 9.725 for Hope Spivey. Hungary, Australia, 9.8. West Germany, 9.7. Israel, 9.7. And here's Brandy Johnson.
Brandy is an incredible vaulter. She has an optional that'll blow your mind. Let's see if she can do a good compulsory here. Oh, she did not stick it, but she vaulted off of the ceiling.
Right. Good one. This one, big one. Okay.
Brandy Johnson at 15. She, like Shelley Stack, coming out of nowhere into the nationals and the trials to make this team.
Watch the power she has. She comes onto the horse. She explodes off. She has tremendous distance.
Okay, you? Okay.
Tuck in, extend out. And of course, she's trying to stick that landing, but it wasn't there. You know, in the '84 Olympics, the girls had 2 vaults in the compulsories. This is the first Olympics where the girls only get 1 opportunity. And of course, 2 vaults is a little easier because if you overdo the first one like she did,
Okay,
you have an opportunity to set up the next one and hopefully stick the second one. That's no longer the way the girls compete in the compulsories.
Or if you're like Mary Lou Retton and stick a 10, you just come right back and do it all over again. 9.850 is the best of any of the U.S. gymnasts on the vault. They'll fall back in the team competition. Their vaults, nevertheless, probably at the level that was expected. No major faults. And we'll continue as the U.S. women go to the uneven bars after this.
We will be returning to gymnastics in just...
Good.
With Mary Lou Retton and Bart Connor and Bella Caroli. This is Dick Enberg back at Gymnastics Hall. We've completed 2 rotations. Let's compare the United States with the other giants in this sport. The Soviet Union in the lead. After 2 rotations, Romania second. That's the way it'll be at the end of the evening, regardless of what the United States says. But that's solid in third and at least positions them at the halfway mark of the 4 rotations to keep their hopes alive for a possible team medal. That's a very good East German team that they're barely ahead of East Germans in 4th. Now the U.S. moves to the uneven bars, and Kelly Garrison-Steeves, the national collegiate champion all around in 1987 and then repeated again here in 1988 for the University of Oklahoma. She's up first.
Kelly is an excellent bar worker. There are some very tricky elements in this routine, as we've seen in some of the earlier rounds. We got to watch to see if she can hit the handstands. Here comes the first one. A little bit over. That was nice. That was just a little bit short. That's good. Free hip to a handstand right to the top. That was excellent. Very